For Reaper Metal Productions, I am Adam of Unbaptized Records, making a brand new video for you today. And today is one I know a bunch of you have been waiting for. This is going to be my Guilty Pleasures video. So I'm going to have a bunch of them, and I'm going to do two different types. So there's going to be Guilty Pleasures Metal Edition, and then Guilty Pleasures Non-Metal Edition. So just a few caveats before I get into the video. First of all, I don't consider myself to feel guilty listening to this stuff. I really thought about it, and I think of all the music I own, of all the music I listen to, whether it's full albums, individual songs, there's probably one or two, maybe three songs that I listen to on a somewhat regular basis that I kind of do feel guilty for, that I probably wouldn't ever let anyone know, just because it's just so bizarre. It's like, I don't really want to have to explain why I listen to it, and seems kind of weird. This is out of thousands, even maybe 10,000 songs that I have that I like, either own or listen to or have been listening to. And it's just like not worth explaining why I listen to it. But again, that's few and far between. I can maybe think of like two, possibly three. But even then, I guess if I was really pushed to, I'd say, and I don't really care. But so I don't really feel guilty for this stuff per se. But this is definitely the music that the cult underground people do not like and do not listen to, which is fine because everyone likes what they like, and I'm not ashamed of what I like. So I know this was definitely a highly recommended video. And then number two, people who don't like these bands, that's fine. I like stuff that people like, that people don't like, vice versa. I don't care. I don't really feel guilty for it. But my rule of thumb is, like, if you've never even listened to a single song by this band or by the album I'm going to show, you really don't get to talk too much shit. Like, I get most people would kind of by now, like, they've seen it, they've done it, they get it. Like, if you name a band and it falls under a category, you're probably not going to like it. You could be 99% sure, but at least give the song or the album at least like one listen, just to have some idea of what it sounds like. People who shit on stuff and they go, yeah, but I don't have to listen to it to know I don't like it. It's like, well, then how do you definitively know? Like, listen to 1 3-minute song, then you're probably right 99% of the time. You know, you'll be right, you really didn't like it. But don't judge it till at least you've heard of it, especially if a bunch of people go, hey man, this band isn't that bad. And I have a few examples in here I could point out, but you know, this band isn't that bad. And then some people go, oh yeah, you know, the name kind of threw me off, or the first album sucked. So it's really just like kind of tired of some people ripping on certain bands. It's like, have you ever even listened to them? Like, yeah, maybe you won't like them, you probably won't, but you don't actually know what they sound like. So it's kind of like, well, whatever, man. You can't really judge me for liking it because I actually listened to it. So that's sort of my caveat. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's all physical media, so this is stuff I own. I didn't just go out and buy this yesterday, and I have at least a little bit of proof with some of this. So first off is a band I have mentioned a few times. This is Goatwhore with the album Constricting Rage of the Merciless. This is my back patch. I love this band. I have my vest here, actually in the back of my car, just so I don't have to remember to bring it with me every time I go to a show. So if you don't believe me, here the fuck it is. And I will definitely do like if you want to see a battle vest video, I could do it, because some of the so-called embarrassing, guilty pleasures are definitely on here. So if you ever want even more proof that I listen to this stuff, why the fuck would I lie about that? And I even got the signature right there of Ben Louis Falgost, however you pronounce his name, the lead singer, guy who used to be in Soylent Green. So yeah, one of my favorite bands, one of my favorite albums, but you don't see too many people talking about it. And I think if certain people in the underground did give it more of a listen, they probably would like it more. Got some messed up hair. I had to remove snow from the car. So, and then next is another band I know that people probably don't like, which is totally fine with me. I'm a huge fan, and I mentioned them briefly in a previous video, and that is Nekrogoblikon. This is the album, The Fundamental Slimes and Humors. So I own all their albums on CD, except for one called Heavy Meta, I think. It's like their third or fourth album. So I think they have 5 albums in an EP. I own them all on CD, and I also own all the albums on LP as well. And I got some signatures there too. So again, definitely can't say I'm just pulling this out for no reason, just to, I don't know, get clicks or something. Like, if I didn't like the band, I wouldn't be having their signatures on there. So, and this is actually pretty hard to buy CD, and I think they just sold out of the LPs as well. So, but I own that as well. And speaking of Nekrogoblikon, the current singer, well, the previous singer of the band left, and so the current singer is also the singer for this band, Infant Annihilator. And you can see because there's a signature right there. So when I got those signatures, I got him to sign it here. So I own all their albums. They have 3 full lengths. This is album number 2 and then number 3. Signature there again from Dickie Allen. And then their 4th release that just came out is an EP that they re-recorded. So I have that. I pre-ordered the shit out of that the second I saw it up for pre-order. And that came in the mail. Listened to it a few times. So yeah, I like the All Unmighty, I suppose, the opposite of Almighty, Infinite Annihilator. And that too is a patch on the vest. So, I guess spoilers, but got it in the front here. So, yeah, that's their 2nd album. So, right next to my corn patch. So, I'm telling you, man, I don't kid about this stuff. Yeah, it's considered guilty pleasures, but if I really was guilty about it, I wouldn't have the CD, have it signed, have the LPs, show them off, have it on my battle vest. I go to every show with that battle vest. So, if I didn't really like this stuff, I think I'm doing a pretty good job pretending if that was the case. Next, we have another band, and this is the one example of the album that actually does kind of suck for most people, and this is Job for a Cowboy. So I actually do like most of their stuff, but I just never really got it on physical media. So this is their first EP. They have 2 EPs. One's Doom, one's Gloom. This is truly deathcore. So this is, I got this, I listened to this back pretty much when it came out in 06. So this is kind of when I was first getting into metal and was kind of experimenting with the deathcore, new metal, and not really metalcore, because honestly, of all the things, I really don't like metalcore, because that's got the clean vocals, and it's pretty bad. It's definitely not something I listen to. But this, I first listened to, I re-listened to it recently, and I'm like, this is not very good, but their later stuff is more melodic death metal. So they started out deathcore, this is deathcore, pretty much everything after this Doom EP, melodic death metal. Their newest album they just came out with is pretty decent from what I understand. I only listened to a couple songs, but yeah, the name is deplorable. Someone once called it Blowjob for a Cowboy. I'm like, that's actually pretty funny. Yeah, the name is dumb, but they're on Metal Blade, which really doesn't mean much because, you know, there's some pretty crappy stuff on there too. But I think for people who are maybe more open-minded, not as entrenched into the underground scene, I would definitely give their later stuff a shot. You probably won't like it. Again, the name's deplorable, but it's not quite as bad as people say it is. A few other bands I have examples of in the future too, but they're definitely one of those bands that they're not quite as bad as people say. So if you're more open-minded, you know, if you're not just listening to Blasphemy and Archgoat and, you know, maybe the brutal shit like Last Days of Humanity and stuff, you might want to give them a try. I mean, I listen to those bands too, and I still like that, so. But I also listen to that stuff first, so that kind of makes sense. Next is a band that doesn't really get made fun of a lot. Definitely has its place in the underground in the beginning, but their later albums don't seem to, and I'm honestly kind of tired of people ripping on them because it's like, if you haven't even heard them, dude, again, once again, these are much better than you might think they are, and one of these made my top 25 albums, and that is the band Behemoth. Later albums, we have Demigod and The Apostasy. I think these are fucking phenomenal albums. These are mid to late 2000s. This one says 04. This one I believe is like 07 or something. I don't see the date on here. Or at least not readily available. Oh, 08. So 04 and 08. Yeah, these are some of my favorite albums. I mean, I love Grom, and I forget the one that has one of the earlier albums. I mean, I've listened to the early stuff too, and it's great. But I think you really should give these a listen if you haven't. These are much better than maybe they lead you on to think. Yeah, they're not traditional black metal like the early stuff. It's Black Death. It reminds me a lot of like Belphegor, that kind of stuff, which I like early and later Belphegor as well. But these are phenomenal albums, man. Again, Demigod and The Apostasy. If you think later Behemoth isn't very good, but you haven't listened to these, I would say shut the hell up, listen to those. Then make your decision. If you still don't like it, fine. But songs like Slave Shall Serve, oh my God, that's a phenomenal song. It's kind of hard to not like it. So, yeah, I would at least listen to like Krieg's Philosophy on The Apostasy or Slave Shall Serve on Demigod. Those are phenomenal songs. So, and then last but not least is a fan favorite to shit on, and I don't really have a strong opinion on them. But I will say that they're obviously nowhere near as bad and kind of could see where this is going, and we have Pantera. So these are the only two albums I own by them, and I will fully be transparent with Reinventing the Steel. The reason I picked this up is because the song Death Rattle is in SpongeBob. So there's another, don't even get me started on that, but yes, I'm a huge SpongeBob fan. I was born in 1990. That shit came out in like 98, 99. Of course I'm going to be a fan. It's a hilarious ass show. If you don't like it, whatever, you don't like it, I don't give a shit. But and then this album, you know, Cowboys from Hell, everyone knows it. The song Shattered on here is absolutely phenomenal. So I don't care either way. I have a Pantera patch, but it's sort of, that one could go. I don't really care too much, so I'm not going to sit here and like defend Pantera that much, but probably gets shit on a little more than necessary. I don't think they're that bad of the band. Yeah, Phil Anselmo has that tough guy attitude going, but again, I don't think they're as bad as people say. So that's part one. You made it through a whole 11 minutes, so good on you for that. You saw some stuff that probably made your blood boil or go into, what the hell is this guy doing on a metal channel? But again, that's my honesty for you. This is the stuff I really do enjoy, and some of it I haven't listened to in a while, but I do own it. Some of it's literally a patch on my vest, even a back patch. So let me know what you think, and then just hold on to your diapers for parts 2 and 3, because you're probably going to shit yourself in those. See ya.